Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fizel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I'm getting some video ready for you. Just wanted to give you a short tutorial on how this happened. This is yard art, and I made this with some really beautiful china I found at Shepherds Cove Thrift Shoppe. This was an outing last week. So I've got it all completed. And so what I'm going to do, I've got the link over there for you if you would like to buy some of the resin. It's a two-part resin. It's on sale for $58.99, free delivery on Amazon, but there's the link you need to click. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited about this project. Okay, so here at Shepherds Cove Thrift Shoppe, this is what I found. I'm going to be making yard art. And so I found these pieces right here. They're really pretty. They're only 50 cents a piece right here. Beautiful, beautiful china. So what I found 4 of these plates are only 50 cents a piece, and I found 3 of these, and I think they're just really beautiful china pieces. They're gorgeous and just need to be cleaned up a little bit. So this is my idea. So I'll make outdoor flowers. I found these, so what I'll do is I'll use my epoxy, and I'll put this down in the middle of either this one or this one. And then what I'll do, I'll get some of the epoxy I have, and actually I'll put these two together right here. There'll be a stem that will go out at the back of this, and so I'll attach the stem there, and I'll go ahead and put probably this. I think that would be pretty. Use the epoxy I have, paint it maybe just different colors, maybe bright colors. I think red would go pretty in there, black would be pretty in this inside right there. Make it look somewhat like a sunflower. And I thought this would be pretty inside this one. It kind of has that off-white color. They're only 50 cents a piece. Just need to be cleaned up. So they were candle holders, and so was this. So what I'll do, use my epoxy and put these together after I've cleaned them, of course. And I think that would be pretty with maybe this color on the inside, so it looks somewhat, again, like a flower, like a pretty flower. So I think that's what I'm going to do with those. Now what you're looking for when you want to make yard art out of glassware, out of china, that kind of thing, you look for something that's kind of lightweight, and that is. And I really don't want anything like really super big, so that's why I chose these little plates right here. So I'm looking forward to putting this stuff together, and it's going to be another art form for both of us. Fabulous. Great deal. Only 50 cents per piece, and that's how it turned out. Had to do a little cleaning with it, but that wasn't that big of a deal. I made several different colors. You just saw the pink one, and there's how the yellow one turned out, and I'm going to add the stick to the back. And by the way, I found this works really well. It's the Gorilla Glue. And I only took a few drops, and this has only been on the stick just a few hours. It's best to wait 24 hours before you actually finish with it. I love how the red one turned out. This is absolutely gorgeous, and when the sun hits that, and it's out there among your flowers, it's going to be absolutely beautiful with all the glitter. Love the blue one. Blue is my favorite color. That turned out great. Then I want to go ahead and show you what happened on this one right here. I love that. That's going to be so beautiful out in my flower garden, out there with the vegetable garden as well. So you can see it right there in the middle, how that turned out. Again, glitter right there. Just looks like a little flower made out of china. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. You don't have to worry about anything rotting. I mean, it's going to be there forever. So let's go ahead and get started now with the second video. Okay, so we are back. So we're back to our yard art using china and pieces to go on top so it looks like a flower. So what I'm going to do right now, I've mixed resin together. And now resin, I like the 2-part better. You know, you can use some that's already pre-mixed and what have you, but I really do like this much better. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips. I'll go ahead and put the link to Amazon for this. I love this product. So there's a part A and there's a part B. So this is the part B. Now this is the hardener. Okay, so again, this is resin. I love working with resin. And so this is a part A. And so this is resin. The other one was the hardener. Now let me give you a couple of tips, because if you buy it in bulk like I do, it's a lot cheaper than just going, somewhere buying it, just a tiny bit at a time. So what I like to do on the very top, you can see this, I don't pull that foil all the way off. And I kind of leave it to where I poured. It's going to be a lot easier to pour. And make sure you clean around the rims, okay? Because it can harden. It's done. This happened to me before. It can harden, and then you won't be able to get the lid off. So make sure you do it that way. I like to keep the little flaps if it comes with this, and I'll put that back on here as well. Now you have a couple of minutes to work with this. Now another thing is, this is an exact science here, okay? So you've got to have exact measurements. So if you use, say, half a cup of the part A, which is the actual resin, and then you use, say, quarter cup with the part B, it's not going to work. It has to be exact. So what I do, I have my favorite little cups here that I reuse over and over again, and so I keep them marked. And what you can do, let's say you only want to use maybe half a cup of each one. I'll pour this out so you can kind of see. So what I do is I get my Sharpie, I'll put half a cup in, and then I'll measure off whatever half a cup is. Right here, there's my line right there. Okay, so that's going to be either part A or part B. It doesn't matter which one you put first. And then I went on ahead and measured again for the part B, and then you can see right here. Let me turn it around so you can see. You can see a little bit more clear on this one because it's a solid color. But you see I've got that measured right here exactly up to the part A, and then there's the part B. Now you've got to give it a good stir, okay? You don't just put it in there. I'd go around the rim of this, and so here we go. Alright, I'd give it a good couple of minutes of a stir, and again, you got to work a little bit quick on this, okay? Because what I'm going to do is put a layer of this on each one of these. And by the way, if you make jewelry or anything else, because you may have a little bit left over, so you want to make sure that you've got enough made up, but at the same time, you don't want to waste it. All right, it doesn't cost that much, but what I mean is I'm just I'm very careful. And by the way, if you get little bubbles in here, you can always use, and you don't want the bubbles in there, you can use a blow dryer, okay, and just put that over there. Put it on low heat though, and it'll take the bubbles out. I like this brand because I'm not getting many bubbles at all on this one. Some of the cheaper brands you do, you use what you got, okay? So I'm getting ready to go ahead and start pouring this in. Now on this particular one, we've used our adhesive that you use in plumbing, and so it's still setting, so it's not completely dried yet. See, I can still move it, but it will be dry. So what I'm going to do is put a layer right in here. I'm not going to fill it all the way up, and it does behoove you to use a pair of gloves, which I didn't put the second glove on yet. Let me go ahead and do that. Hard for me to kind of stir them in. You need to use some maybe disposable gloves or whatever. Anything plastic. You don't have to go get really pricey on that. Now see, some came right off on that one, so I'm rubbing that off with this glove. I'm somewhat allergic to this stuff, so I try to make sure I don't make contact with my skin. Some people can use it without gloves. I just happen to be one of those tender people, I guess. Okay, so here I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put it all the way up yet, as far as I'm going to want to go. Now see, I'm using that glove to adhere that. Okay, so I'm going to go here and put this around. I don't want to fill it all the way yet, because what I'm going to do is I've got, on these, I want them to kind of look like sunflowers. So I'm going to put black in the center and then probably yellow around here. But what I'm going to do is use the glitter. So these glitter packets right here. So I'm going to use those, and I'll show you how easy that is to do. Alright, so I'm going to go on ahead and put some down here at the bottom. I want to go, because I don't want to waste my glitter. If you're not careful, if you don't put a layer on the bottom and then do some just a little bit after it settles, it's going to harden. But I want to go ahead and put some in here. All I'm doing is putting the first layer down. And I've just about guessed how much I'm going to need, so I'm not going to be wasting it. Okay, let's just put that right there. Again, not all the way up to the top, because I want to use this glitter as a color, and I'll be able to do that once it hardens. So I'm going to have a little bit left over. That's great. I'll have some to use on another project, which is pretty cool. Okay, so basically that's all there is to it. You just have to make sure you have it, I mean, really, really have this stuff blended in, okay? So that's it for this step right now. We're going to let this stuff harden, and then a little bit later on we're going to use color. I could actually go on ahead and use the color on this right here. I think since I have all of this is a really pretty color right here, I think what I'm going to do, and I'll go ahead and take these gloves off now. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and use some silver glitter in here. And what I'm doing is I'm putting these in my garden. And I use a lot of silver because birds, I love birds, but I don't want them eating my berries. And so I've got strawberries, I've got all kinds of berries. And what happens is when these birds see the glitter, it just kind of, they don't like silver. You can use gold, you can use anything else you want to use, but they don't like silver. And just see how that just kind of explodes out. I think that's gorgeous. And I may add some more color to it, a little bit. But my primary focus is using silver. And I'll use a little bit of silver on here. Now the thing I love about using resin is, see, I don't have to use a stir stick, I don't have to use any of that. It just automatically just does its thing. Okay, now there's a little bit of, oh, I'll take that off. There's a little bit of orange in these plates, and I kind of want to bring that out. So I think what I'm going to do is use some of this glitter, right, this is a pretty orange, and I like the type that has the little sparkles in it too. So why don't we just do this? I did it upside down, so let's go ahead and put this back in. It's going to make it easier to shake. You want to pat it down like this, because if not, it's going to go and be all over every single thing. So here we go. Let's sprinkle some on here. I think that orange is going to be pretty. Oh yeah, I like the way the orange goes with it. Alright, so let's go ahead and use some on this one as well. And you can get glitter, doesn't cost very much at all. And see how that's just kind of it just spreads. You don't have to do a whole lot. But I think I'm going to grab one thing though. I do have this little stir. I'm going to use this. So I'll just to kind of, you know, let it kind of mingle. And again, I still have my silver, but I think that's turning out beautiful. Okay. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty. Let's go ahead and stir the whole thing. And then what I'll do, once this hardens, once this dries, I'm going to have something really pretty here. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little stir stick on this one. But I do like this resin because it does harden quicker than any that I know of. And I'm going to tell you what, this stuff, it's indestructible. I mean, it's always going to be pretty. It's going to hold up to the bright sunlight if you put it out into your flower garden. Oh, that's going to be gorgeous. Ooh, that's going to be so pretty. And then what I'll do, I'm going to put a stir stick. Maybe have to flatten something. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But we'll have that in another video. I'll turn this thing upside down. Then we'll have the stick on the bottom. And we'll use resin for that as well. Okay, well, I think I've done my damage here. And we're just going to see how this works out. Now again, if you have any drips with your resin, you don't have to take it off. And if you don't, I do have some that looks like sprinkles of rain on it. And let's go ahead and move this so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see, get just a little bit more of a bird's eye vision of what this is going to look like. And that's just going to be gorgeous. And then once I get that on a stick, that's going to be such a beautiful ornament. Again, I mean, 50 cents a plate, so you don't have a whole lot of money in it, but it's something that's structural, it's something that's artsy, it's going to look really, really good in your garden. Okay, so that's it. I'll be back with another segment in just a few. So we're just a wee bit behind on the commercial break. Let's go ahead and go into the commercials, and we'll be right back in just a minute, and we'll wrap it up. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonesmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Okay, we are back. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We do everything here. Get your creative juices going. What I really love about these is like during the wintertime months. Now, we have beautiful flowers all through the summer, but in the wintertime, you're going to see a little color out into the garden, just depending on what you use. Put the stake down into the mud or to the dirt, whatever. As good as you can. Be really careful when you're placing these, but you'll have something really pretty, and they make really good gifts. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll finish up with the next video, and may have to call it quick, but anyway, here we go. Okay, so we are back, and this time while I'm waiting on all of the resin here to harden on the yard art that we have, I have another project I'm working on. So the neat thing about working with resin is it will set for just a few minutes and kind of give you enough time to work on other projects if you'd like, because I don't want to waste it. And so what I like to do is make an over batch. In other words, I'm making a bigger batch than I think I'm going to use, but then I have a few other things just on the side just in case I'm able to do something else. So this is a project that I'm going to be using, so I'll go ahead and turn it this way so you can get a better idea of what I'm going to do. So I'm with the Masters Gardeners Club, and I got the certificate through Auburn University, and so we do projects. And on these projects, this is outreach for the community. So Second Chance Animal Shelter, my friends Doug and Wanda McGee, I was working on a rose garden, roses that her mom and dad planted a few years ago, and both have since passed. So I dug all of the weeds and everything out of that garden. So now what we're left in with are those pretty roses that they planted a few years ago. So I found this project, and what I want to do is make a kind of like a sign, but this is glass, and you know we have rough weather here in Alabama, North Alabama, so there could be issues with hail hitting or whatever. So I'm going to put some of this leftover resin on this. Now you need to start out with a clean slate. Make sure you've cleaned it really well. So I'm going to put resin on the top. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Cricut machine, and I'm going to put something down here that says Mama's Garden. But what I'm going to work on is the back of this thing a little bit later. So see the back? So I've taken this part off. By the way, this cost 50 cents at Shepherds Cove Thrift Shoppe. So I went on ahead and took this off. I'm not going to need that. And I'll be putting some resin on the back of this. And then also I'll be putting a kind of a garden stake here. And so it'll set up in the garden. And again, using my Cricut machine, it'll say Mama's Garden. Mama's Roses is what she wants it to say. She said she called her Mama instead of Mother. But now what I like to do, I save these little things, and I can always throw them away. And again, I like for whatever I'm working on, whatever the project is, I like for it to be elevated. So let's go on ahead. And the reason I'm using resin, in case we have some pretty rough storms, this resin is going to hold up and it's going to protect this glass. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, this is left over from another project. You've got to work pretty fast on this, but I like to use brushes. Okay, since I'm throwing this away anyway, I'll just go ahead and put this over here. And it's a real good stir, by the way, so it looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and reach over here and grab some gloves. And you'll see what I'm doing. Now, it's better to use a thin layer, okay, than it is a thick layer. Now this is the back, and I couldn't get this off because that's a glue kind of a matter right there. Got to make sure that it's clean. By the way, if you don't clean it, it's going to pick up your fingerprints. Then forever and ever on this project that you've made for somebody, it's going to have your fingerprints on there. Okay, now I've used brushes before, but I really do like the little spongy things right here. It just seems to go on better. It gives it a real good coat too. Now again, I want a thin layer. Now the reason I'm not starting with the front of it is that's where the message is going to go. The message is going to say Mama's Roses. And by the way, I really like this plate. It's just a picture frame. So there are roses actually on here as well. So I just thought that was perfect. When I found that one, I thought, oh man, this she's gonna love. But again, all I'm doing is just giving this extra protection for being out in the elements. So Shepherds Cove Thrift Shoppe is actually where I found this. And so again, Doug and Wanda McGee, they are with Second Chance Animal Shelter. This is a passion of theirs. And so Second Chance actually began as a fluke. So Doug was working with the police department, and so somebody had just dumped a bunch of little puppies on the side of the road. And he was on his way home, and he saw those puppies, and he said, you know what, I can't just leave these pups here. And so he calls Wanda. Wanda is a huge animal advocate. She loves animals just like I do. And he said, Wanda, what do I need to do? I can't stand the thoughts of these little puppies out here on the side of the road. They're going to wind up dying. He said, I think I know what you want to do. She said, you guessed that right. Bring those puppies home. So that's how Second Chance Animal Shelter actually got its start. By a couple of people who have compassion for living things. And I'm telling you, if you have animals, I just got to preach here just for a second to folks who just dump their puppies on the side of the road or they kill them. I have a family member who did that. Okay, so I thought I'd better cut that project short before we get to the end of the show. So thank you so much for watching, and this is the final project. We'll get back to the picture project in another show, but this is how it all turns out, and I love it. And you don't have to worry about, you know, it's not going to crack or anything like that unless we have a hailstorm or something like that. But these are just beautiful little projects just setting out into your garden. Just adds a lot. It's yard art. And you don't have to be an artist to make this work. But thank you again so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net, and you'll get a real good deal if you're really interested in acrylics and putting resin on some of your projects. You can do that at a good price. That's actually a gallon. Why is it being a gallon of this? And it does go a long way, and it lasts a long time. Again, thank you so much for watching. You take care.